Okay, so here's going to be a basic overview on wiring up eBay OEM style headlight or fog lights on a 2012 Scion TC. Here's one of the first things we ran into. These are only like 30 bucks, so kind of expect these things, I guess. On these fog lights, we did have to shave off a little bit here. Just clip them with some wire cutters right here on the edges so that this part would sit in. So otherwise these were too wide and they weren't going to sit in here. And this is, I'm looking at the bumper right now, and then the one screw goes in there. Another issue we came across is some of these clips don't like to stay on this kit for the cover. And the cover itself isn't 100% flush on the sides, which is not going to be a huge deal because you won't be able to see it when the car's, and then once the bumper's on the car. So that's not a huge problem. And here's this side, what we had to do here. Like you can see on the insides of them, and the little ears, we just basically clipped them so they'd slide in, because otherwise they weren't going to slide in because they're too fat. I'd rather cut these than cut the bumper. Then once again, the screw right there. And over here, same story, the edges, not that great. Another thing we did have to do is take some sandpaper to the back of these little wing looking things here in order for these all to sit flush. So yeah, a little bit of work to get these mounted in, but it's not hard, just kind of annoying when it's supposed to be the kit. Alright, and as far as the wiring goes, I'm just going to go through it real quick. Comes with this relay harness here. It's got a red wire here coming off. This is going to go to your battery. And then these plugs here obviously are going to go to the fog lights. These black ones here with the ring terminal are going to go to ground. So I'll show you how I end up routing these, but those are going to go to ground. And then up top here, this yellow one, going to plug into the yellow one here off the switch harness, which the switch here should plug right into where the factory switch or fog light switch goes. And then up here, this one and this one are what end up lighting up the switch. So I'll show you real quick if I can. Touch that on the ground. Alright, so here we go. So this one's probably going to go to the illumination wire so that it's not on with the car. You know, because normally the stuff on the dash only comes on when you got the headlights on. So I'm going to go ahead and wire this to probably to the your headlight switch. So I'll show you how we do that off of a positive trigger. Then that one, we're just going to go ahead and ground. Pretty simple there. Then the switch, it's going to go in the factory location for switch panel. So these aren't factory, you know, fog lights, but they're going to look factory basically. So yeah, I'll show you how I route all the wiring and everything as well here in a sec. Alright, so here's how I got them wired up. I got the, I don't have wired, but I have them set in. So here's one plug here. It's going to go for the fog light over here. Ran the wires up through here. Got them zip tied here along with this factory wiring here for the horns. Running here. Now running over here with the factory loom that's going here. Going down, I'm just kind of following the factory wiring just because you know it's not going to hit anything if you follow the factory routes. And then you're going to want this relay and fuse accessible, so I pulled them right up through here, right by the intake. I'm going to end up zip tying them up over here to the side where they're out of the way but easily accessible for if you know the relay goes bad or the fuse pops or whatever it may be. The ground here, that's over here on this side, I'm going to go ahead and ground to the factory location here with the ground wire here. This red one here, I'm going to go right to the positive battery terminal. I'm probably going to tape it or shield it a little because I don't want a bright red wire just sticking out in the engine bay. And then from there, once those are wired up, the next thing we have to do is run this guy through the firewall because it's going to connect to our switch. So there's a factory location where we went through for the amplifier on this car, so we're going to see if we can shove one more wire in through there. But yeah, first I'm going to wire these up here, and then I'm going to worry about flopping the other guy through. Pretty well buttoned up under the hood. I just gotta run the wire through the firewall, but once again I'll show how the wiring's routed. So there's one plug that goes to the fog light right here. Running down here along the factory wiring, going across. This one's right here, and then up in this corner here I got the ground wire here connected to the factory grounding location. Got the relay zip tied over here to the factory harness. I got the wiring. This one's going to be the one going through the firewall, so it's not tucked yet, but I got the power wire going all the way over here to the battery. And there's a fuse over there in that end, but I think I'm going to put a fuse a little closer to the battery just in case. I don't really like how far away that one is. But either way, it is fused, but that's quite a bit to be fused. With quite a long length without fusing, so I'm probably going to end up fusing that. And then that's basically it under here. I just got to go ahead and run the power wire, or the, I guess this is like a signal wire. So yeah. Alright, so I just ran this red wire that it came with through the firewall, and I connected it to this yellow wire. I'm going to tuck this obviously because there's quite a bit of excess wire here. I'm going to pull a little bit of it back in through from the firewall. I just pulled it out so I could just tape it up here so it's, you know, not red in the engine bay. I'm gonna split loom it as well, but I'm gonna zip tie it and whatnot as well also. So yeah, but I mean, this is pretty much, I think this was what triggers the headlights or the fog lights. So I'll show you where I ran it if you can see. Let's see. Right up in there, and that grommet there where the wiring comes through, there's a little nipple there that you can clip off and run a wire through it very easily. A wire like this would be super easy. I have an amplifier in this car already, so it was kind of tight to get through there, so I had to kind of cram it in there through that wire with the power wire. I just had to put a little bit of penetrating oil through there, WD-40, whatever, anything like that would work to get the wire through. There's other places to go through. That's the easiest part with cars. And then here's inside where it went through. Hard to see with this lighting, but you get the idea. Alright, so this is basically it here. Zip tied the wire there. You can see a little bit of red there. I'm going to have to put some split loom over that, but no big deal. It runs under the intake tube back, right along with this power wire that I hooked up, and then they're running right down there. I left them kind of loose there, just in case you have to pull the battery. There's no tightness or shenanigans there. Zip tied here. Got the relay there along with the fuse. The ground, the power's hooked up already there. Here's how we're looking in here. And then obviously that goes to the fog light. On the other side we got the same thing. So we're gonna go ahead and put the bumper back on at this point and then work on the inside. Alright, so inside the car we're gonna go ahead, and right there are the factory locations. You can pick either one to put the switch in. So we're gonna go ahead and pop that out. We're just using a panel tool here. It's not recommended to use a flathead because you'll scratch the hell out of your dash. So, I mean, if you're fine with that, go for it. But please, panel tools. And there you go. A little bit of finagling, but obviously careful so you don't break it. So, it takes a little longer, whatever. And that's where we're going to be mounting the switch. So, we'll do that here shortly, but we're going to route the harness up behind it first. Alright, so this is the other harness here. Obviously, we got the plug there, so that's going to be plugged into the switch. We got the ground, we got the trigger wire for the fog lights, and then we got the red one here for the illumination for the switch. So I'm going to go ahead and route that up there first, get it in place, and then I'll show you how we wire it in. Alright, and then I basically just fed the wire, the other end of it, through there, and did a reach around back there and grabbed the wires and pulled them out. It'd be pretty easy to see if you got two people. That definitely helps. We're going to leave this hanging here for now, and then I'll show you how we wire it. Alright, so here's what we have going on down here. I went ahead and grounded it right here to the kick panel, factory ground location. Also where I have a factory remote start, or aftermarket remote start grounded, so that's a good spot. You don't have to drill anything or anything like that. The wire I ran, let's see, it's right up there, going across. I'm going to zip tie it, obviously it's just kind of flopping right now. And then ran it up under the carpet, and it's going to stay up out of the way. And then there's a lot of extra red wire here, so what I'm going to be doing is cutting this red wire short just to the length that I need. And then from there, I'm going to run this red wire here to the illumination off of my remote start, just because I don't want to take apart all the dash again. I'll link to the video where I show you where this wire actually is. I'll probably write in the description too, where you can tap it up in the ignition harness here. I just don't feel like doing that if I don't have to, so yeah. Just going to do that, and then it should work. Alright, so change of plans for the headlight illumination wire. or parking lights wire, really, whatever you want to call it. I actually found it in this bundle here in the kick panel going to the rear of the car. It'll be the only blue wire in there, but you're going to want to test this with a multimeter. It's going to be a positive trigger. It's only going to test with the parking lights on / headlights. So you put your negative lead on your multimeter to ground, and then your positive lead right here into the wire. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip on the parking lights. You see 12 volts there. And then if I go ahead and turn them off, so there we go. So that's what's going to be, we're going to be connecting it to. And I'm going to just put a little extension on the wire here so I can tuck it and everything. I'm going to tap it into there. And then we're pretty much done. Alright, and then here we went ahead and pressed the switch in. You can see it looks basically factory, with the exception that it looks slightly newer, but it looks like factory. So I'm going to go ahead and pretend we're driving down. I got the parking lights on right now, no headlights, and I just hit the hit the switch. You can see that's how it illuminates. And there's how they look. They look pretty sweet, and they're pretty damn bright for $30 eBay lights, so not so bad so far.